Hey, yo, brothers, I came across this video today, and the topic of conversation is the suffering of women when it comes to finding a good man. Brothers, something we have to understand is women are going to continue to have a hard time finding a good man because the reality is there's always going to be more women than there are good men. That's how it's always been. So until the woman realizes that monogamy is not the only relationship dynamic that works, they're going to continue to suffer. Every woman is not going to get a good man all to herself. That's never going to happen. That's the reality of it. So until women have realistic dating standards and relationship standards and expectations, they're going to continue to have these same problems. Not only do these women not have realistic dating standards when it comes to the income of a man, they don't have realistic relationship standards. They don't understand what a relationship is really supposed to be like. They don't understand the dynamic of how things are supposed to be like. And that's because when you go out into the world, you're seeing women run society, women supervisors, women presidents and superintendents at these jobs and these major corporations. And then you got men that are supervisors and presidents and CEOs of corporations. Now you got men and women competing with one another for jobs at work. Men and women are competing with one another when it comes to finances, when it comes to supremacy, not just in the home, but in society. And now you have different factions being set up. You have different people different groups and variations of people being set up so that now the woman not only is she not aligned with the man anymore, the woman is more aligned with the homosexual, the transgender, and things of that nature than she is aligned with the man. The woman is going further and further away from the patriarchal energy, the masculine energy. She's getting further and further away from that. So there's a lot of varying factors and underlining factors and issues when it comes to a relationship and why things don't work and the reason why the woman is so miserable. Women claim to be happy online. Everybody's happy online. Brothers, every time you post a picture online or video online, everybody's happy. Everybody is. But in general, that's not life. Life is not about moments. Life is about the day-to-day. The vast majority of life is not spent partying and living it up and having fun. The vast majority of life is going to be 8 hours of the day is about going to be sleep. 8 hours is going to be work. And then that other 8 hours you get where you got to wash ass, you got to make breakfast, you got to eat lunch, you got to do XYZ and do other productive things. You got to pay bills and stuff like that. And then you have maybe 3 or 4 hours throughout the day, most people, where they get to just sit down and watch TV and they just scrolling on their phone. Brothers, the vast majority of these girls are just scrolling on their phone all day. Let's call it what it is. But anyways, let's tap into this.
I understand the frustration of women because what they're saying is there's not a big pool of good men.
That's a lie.
That's not a
That is a lie. That is a lie. And there is a nice amount of men out there. But once again, women have to change their perspective when it comes to dating. They have to change their perspective when it comes to what they want and expect out of a relationship. If you are expecting a monogamous relationship, then the reality is you're going to have to lower your standards significantly. If you are expecting a monogamous relationship, you're going to have to deal with a man that's probably making less than a certain amount of money. That's the reality of it.
That is a lie.
That's not a lie.
Listen,
What?
there's not a lot of good men who want y'all.
And that's pretty much what sums it up. That's what sums it up. A lot of these women are very beautiful. They're very attractive and things of that nature, no doubt about it. And there's a lot of men that would love to, bang them, fuck them, whatever you want to call it. No doubt about it. But the reality is a lot of men and women, they're not compatible today. So they're not really going to make it out of the talking stage. A lot of these women can't get out of the talking stage with a man because, once again, everything is too predicated on the feelings, the wants, and the desires of the woman. A relationship is never going to last long term if everything is based on what the woman needs and what the woman wants all the time. That's not going to work. A woman will wake up on Monday and love your dirty draws, brothers. And on Thursday afternoon, she will hate your guts, have you blocked, and never want to talk to you again. That's the woman. That's the type of creature you're dealing with. You're dealing with a creature that is up and down emotionally all day. Brothers, you have to understand something. A woman goes through a 30-day cycle of hormones and emotions. There's literally a cycle that a woman goes through hormonally. That's why she has a menstrual cycle. Then there's a period where literally she has to get all the dead eggs out of her body. That's literally a woman is going through all types of fluctuations in energy, frequencies, hormones all throughout the day. And you have to learn your woman's cycle. A lot of brothers don't learn a woman's cycle. A lot of brothers, you meet this woman, she might be on day 1 of her cycle, and she might be one person. You meet her on day 20 of her cycle, she's a completely different person. These are things we have to understand. These are things the brothers are not properly being taught about the woman. They don't know a lot of things about the woman.
A lot of good men out there where the good man at?
And first of all, brothers, most of these women wouldn't know where to find a good man at, because the reality is most of these women, brothers, I don't know where all y'all live at, but the vast majority of black people, they live in some type of hood or around some type of hood, or they around some type of ghetto shit. Not all black people, but in general, the vast majority of us are going to be around some type of ghetto shit in our life. That's the reality of it. That's just our culture. If you're in a predominantly black area or go to a predominantly black high school, middle school, elementary school, whatever, you're going to be around ghetto shit for the most part. And in general, the vast majority of these women, you got black men growing up in dysfunction, black girls growing up in dysfunction. They come together and they're just basically passing along their dysfunctional energy to one another. They're just feeding off of one another's own dysfunctional energy. So what I'm really getting at, brothers, is the selection of men. Girls dealing with niggas that's in and out of jail, and they want to talk about where the good men at. Girls dealing with niggas that's in and out of the streets, and I get it. Hey, you got to get your money. I feel you. I understand it's hard out here, but in general, you dealing with niggas that's in and out the streets, niggas that's doing criminal shit, just calling it what it is. And now, after you done dealt with all those men, now you want to look for a quote-unquote good man. A lot of these women have passed up on a good man already because they were too busy fucking with the dude that was selling drugs. They was too busy fucking with the dude that was being a scammer. They were too busy trying to be with the dude that was the pretty boy, trying to be with the dude that dressed all fly and all that. I get it, but you're too busy trying to mess with this rapper here sitting up here trying to get this NBA player. Now you done ran out of time. And there's only so many Bernice Burgos and Dreas in the world that can be in their 40s and still bag about a basketball player. There's only so many that can do that. Now you older, your expectations, your standards, your needs, your wants in a man have all gone up, but your body count has gone up. Your looks have gone down. All these things, a woman becomes less desirable the older she gets because her beauty is fading. But at the same time, her standards are going up. The number one thing that men value in a woman is her looks, her beauty. Yeah, brothers, I guess we are superficial. That's the number one thing we're looking for when we look for a woman. That's the first thing it's just we're looking at her and her physical beauty. Now, on top of your physical beauty, what other qualities, features, and characteristics do you have that's going to lead to me taking you serious and being in a long-term committed relationship with you? Okay, she has other qualities, I'll take her serious. She doesn't have these other qualities, all right, I'll keep her around and I'll smash her until she starts wanting something else or until she wants some other dick in her life. That's the reality of it.
Under a rocker in a cave. They everywhere. They at the gas station.
Men are everywhere. And the reality is the woman, the modern day woman sees herself as a celebrity. Every single woman, especially a pretty woman, they see themselves as celebrities. When a man approaches them, they don't look at it as a man is approaching them. One of my fans approaching me. That's how they look at it. They look at you. They look at niggas as fans. They look at y'all as fans. They look at all of us as fans. That's the reality. And because of that, they look at themselves as goddesses. They look at themselves as above you. And when you constantly see yourself as above every man that's trying to talk to you, how are you ever going to really find a good man? Reality of it.
They at the bank. They walking right past you and you don't show up on their radar.
And a lot of these women are very mean. They're very mean. They're very mean and unapproachable. Women down south are a little bit nicer than women up north. because I've lived down south and I've lived up north as well. But in general, these women today are very mean, very mean. A lot of them are unapproachable. Brothers, I still recommend that you do approach because, I mean, what other options do you have? I mean, like, you're not about to just be sitting at home watching, that one thing all day. But in general, I recommend that you still do approach them regardless of how mean you may feel they look. Obviously, you have to use your, social skills and be able to pay attention and say, okay, this person is on the phone. Maybe they're not available, or this person is doing something. They're busy at the grocery store. They got a list. They trying to grocery shop. Don't approach a woman and you see she's obviously too busy. Or if a person's at the gym and you see they're in the middle of their workout, that's not a good time to come up to them and talk to them. It's not. So we have to use our, social cues. But in general, most of these women, they're very unapproachable. And reality is, I go to the mall from time to time. You got to pick up some stuff and things of that nature. And you go to the mall, what you notice is every woman in the mall is on the phone. They looking at their phone or they're talking on the phone. I think that the cell phone is one of the greatest inventions that man has ever came up with. Literally, we have access to everything and can do everything with our phones. But it's also the worst thing in the world because everybody is so sucked into the matrix that they're not even aware. They're not even living in the world that's in front of them. They're not. It's a lot of people that have walked past the potential love of their life or the quote unquote person that the man that God was trying to send into your life. You've walked past them 1,000 times or he's walked past you 1,000 times because you were on your phone. You didn't see him.
Because of the way you are, they're going to walk right by you. Your pretty face.
They are going to walk right by you because you're probably on your phone. A lot of these women are glued to their phone. Brothers, if a woman is not texting you back, if a woman is not answering your phone calls, she's not interested. That's just the reality of it because she is on her phone all day, all day. Now, that doesn't mean that you can't continue to pursue her and try to make her interested. I mean, you can do what you want, but in general, women have their phones all day. Women are by their phones all day. Most women are not just so busy where they can't text back. Honestly, most of these women are on their phones so much that a text message doesn't even go off. Dopamine doesn't even go off anymore when they get a text message. When you are getting thousands of likes and comments and shares and retweets and mentions and DMs all the time, a notification doesn't really do much to you. Now, a lot of these niggas, they're not getting a lot of notifications. They're not getting a lot of messages and DMs all day. So when they get a DM or a message, oh, I'm so excited. But most of these women, man, they're not getting that. They don't really excite them no more because once again, they so numb to that feeling. So dopamine don't even go off anymore. That's why they be saying stuff nowadays like, you got Cash App, that'll get my attention. And brothers, you shouldn't just be sending a woman money just for the general principle of it. Just no. I mean, if you got it, you got it. I feel it. But if you don't got it, brothers, there's no reason why you should be doing that.
Ain't gonna go too far because everybody's pretty. That's a prerequisite. So if that's all you got to offer, we not looking at you. There's plenty of good men. They just don't want your ass. I ain't never heard no woman say, I know I ain't shit. She'll say, this man ain't shit. He ain't shit.
Yeah, because the woman doesn't believe in holding herself accountable. The woman can never fathom the possibility that something is her fault. She can never fathom the idea that she did something wrong or that she played a part in her own failures in her relationships and her own demise. She doesn't see the wrong that she does. The woman does not. The woman, especially the modern day American modern day Roman woman, she doesn't think that she can do any wrong. She sees herself as God. She really does. She sees herself as God. And in her eyes, I'm God. I can't. So what do you mean? I can't do nothing, no wrong. It's your fault. Everything is your fault. And brothers, are you ready for that? That's what a relationship is going to be like in America. Unless you are able to find a woman that is extremely humble and submissive. And even then, that's just an act because she's still a woman. The woman does not hold herself accountable unless she's raised to do that. And the vast majority of men are not raising their daughters to be held accountable. They're raising their daughters, their daughters, because your daughter, that's your baby girl. She's cute. She's adorable. It's hard to properly raise your daughter when she's just so pretty and cute. That's all. That's the reality of it. So a lot of niggas not raising their daughters properly, man. Your daughter has a lot of bad traits and a lot of bad characteristics that she shows you at 2, 3 years old, and you are ignoring them. And actually, up until the age of 12, 13 years old, when she goes through puberty, you have enabled a lot of bad habits. You have instilled a lot of bad habits and traits. She has never once felt masculine, real masculine energy, because you are afraid to hurt your daughter's feelings. You are afraid for your daughter to be mad. You are afraid for your daughter not to like you. Brothers, at some point, you a parent. Your child is not going to like you. They're going to be upset with you. They're going to be pissed off at you. That's the reality of it. And it's the same thing with the woman. The woman doesn't understand that if you're a husband, you are a patriarchal figure. Therefore, what? What does that mean? As sometimes you're going to say things that she doesn't like. You're going to do things that she doesn't like. You're going to speak to her in a way where she may feel offended, where she's like, oh, I don't like how you're talking to me. It is what it is. It's the same thing. And because the woman sees herself as above you, whenever you talk to her with any level of authority, with any level of dominance and masculinity, the reality is she's going to get offended by that. She's going to take that as disrespect. And you could put 2 and 2 together with the rest.
He was bad. He was bad. Every woman think they're a good woman. What makes you a good woman? Who?
Every woman thinks they're a good woman because they have a vagina. And when you have a vagina, you have a lot of options, because a vagina is the most valuable commodity on earth. It is literally the most valuable commodity on earth. Nothing. Really, if money was backed by vagina, the dollar would probably never go out of circulation. In general, brothers, everybody wants vagina. It's how we all got here. We all come through that portal that is the woman's womb. That's the reality of it. And every man, that's what gives a lot of men purpose and meaning in life. Because what's all the money, what's all the cars, what's all the clothes and the jewelry if I don't got women? That's the reality of it. So women have vaginas, and because of that, they're able to live a more delusional life, because they know that they're always going to have options. And they have a false reality of options, because I don't think that women really even care or are able to differentiate the difference between a man that just wants to talk to them and a man that just wants to fuck them and a man that actually wants to take them serious. And quite frankly, the way that the woman's brain works, if you try to take her serious, she automatically puts you in the realm of being a fan. And once you are put in that realm of being a fan, you're never going to, she's always going to leave you there, and you're never going to get out. So really, the only way to get a woman in today's society is to be disinterested. And the best way to be disinterested is what, brothers? Having options. Having options. If you have 10, 15 women that you can call at the random at any point in time, you're not really going to care if this woman is texting back. You're not going to really care what this woman is doing. You're not thinking about her for real. That's what women like. They want a man that is not thinking about them all day. If you're thinking about her all day, some nigga is going to take her from you at some point, brothers. That's the reality of it.
Auditing that you're a good woman. You are auditing yourself. Why don't you ask your exes what they think?
Brothers, there's different variations and categories of what a good woman is. It really is. In general, a good woman is virtuous. A good woman is quiet. A good woman is meek. Meek meaning humble. A good woman is shamefaced. She is not out here dressing like a whore, conducting herself like a whore. If a woman is in and out of the club all the time, that's not a good woman. That's not a good woman. A good woman is not in and out the club all the time. A good woman does not work at a bar, is not a bartender. A good woman is not a stripper. That's not a good woman, because those are not shamefaced qualities. There's not. A good woman does not demonstrate or display hoe tendencies. And brothers, I've known whores in my life. I've known all types of women in my life. I've come across all types of variations of women in my life. And some of the most whorish women you'll meet, if you sit down and talk to them, they got some of the nicest spirits. They really are nice people at heart. But that does not make you a wife. What makes you a wife, or really a good woman, a wife, is once again what I just stated: being meek, humble, quiet, and shamefaced, and reserved. And when I say reserved, meaning reserved to your man. That's how a lot of these women can redeem themselves, finding themselves a man that is upright and just following him, being reserved to him, loving him. That's what you're here for. You're here to love on your man, here to be reserved to your man, here to make sure your man is straight and love your household and love your children. But once again, this society has given us too many options. The temptation of the club, the temptation of the streets. The streets are constantly calling your woman. She wants to go back. So if you found a woman in the streets, just know at some point she's gonna have that, just like a crack addict, if they see crack, they gonna have a PTSD panic attack. Just like an alcoholic, they can't have alcohol in the house because they're gonna be too tempted. Once again, brothers, you gotta keep your woman as far away from, if your woman was used to be in the streets, you gotta keep her as far away from the streets. Otherwise, she's gonna be tempted. Cause she wanna shake that ass, she wanna drink, she wanna party, she wanna club, she wanna have her hot girl phase. She wanna be in her hot girl era. I done met women, man, they talk about they want to be in a soft girl era. They want to be in a soft girl era. Because why? Because they've been hard all their life. If you've been hard all your life, your natural proclivity as a woman is to be hard, is to be ghetto, to be ratchet, to be dysfunctional. Being soft is not who you are. You're trying to be something that you're not. A lot of these women are trying to make themselves and turn themselves into something that they're not. The woman is like the moon. They go through various phases, brothers. It's time that we understand that. Mainly the younger brothers. Older niggas, most of y'all should already understand this because I'm pretty sure y'all done already got the experience, and a lot of niggas probably already got 3 or 4 baby mamas. And that's the hardest way to learn, is if you got 3 or 4 baby mamas. I feel sorry for you niggas. But in general, hopefully younger brothers, y'all could tap into this earlier and understand what the woman is really about. That way you don't make these dumbass mistakes that a lot of older niggas make.
All your relationships diminish and ended in turmoil. So maybe you're not as good as you really think you are.
No, you're not. No, you're not. And sometimes it's the man as well. Sometimes niggas not that good. But in general, that's why you are supposed to have a patriarchal presence in your life that is guiding your mate selection, guiding you through the mate selection process. Because, brothers, you're not going to pick your daughter's husband in a societal structure, more than likely, unless your daughter is you're just blessed to have a daughter that is extremely obedient, which I doubt. I mean, that's just not the way of this world. That's not the culture in this world. Nobody else is doing that. Monkey see, monkey do. So most people not seeing that. But hopefully if your daughter respects you and you have earned that respect over a process of you raising her over 18, 19, 20 years, whatever, she will allow you to really guide her when it comes to her mate selection process. And if you are guiding her through her mate selection process and she listens and takes heed to what you're saying, she'll be fine. If not, more than likely she's going to make bad decisions. She's going to bump her head. She's going to get some boo-boos, some scars, some cut up, but she's going to have a lot of wounds. That's the reality of it, because women are not qualified to choose their own man, because as a man, we are trying to get sex from a woman. And most men will say anything, do anything, and put on the best act possible to get sex. Just like if you want to get a good job, you're going to go get your hair cut. You're going to talk properly. You're going to be the best version of yourself possible so that you can get this job and you can get paid. And the man is trying to get paid, and the payment being the kuda mama, the coochie. Anyways, though, brothers, I think we get the point. I'm going to go ahead and sign out.